Hola, cage fighting connoisseurs. This is KidNate at BloodyElbow.com, joined once again by the ineffable, the ineluctable, the inevitable Eugene S. Robinson, author of Fight. Everything you ever want to know about asking but were afraid you'd get your ass kicked for asking. Ha!
Beautiful, beautiful. And my first news bit from today, even before the Proviso, because I want to say it while the Trump fan is here. Headline: Trump advisor sued over racist attacks. Reed Cordish allegedly called black customers urbans and hired thugs to scare them away from his restaurants and clubs. Now he's got a job in the White House.
It's a story about hard work.
It's propaganda. I was telling them, they say, oh, you'd be a Republican. I go, yeah, except to quote Chris Rock, except for the whole we hate black people thing. Oh, Republicans don't hate black people. All right.
No, they hate urbans and thugs.
Urbans and thugs. It's a completely different thing.
Totally unrelated. It's just it's just coincidence. Now,
yes,
we are here for the Care Don't Care preview, a rare treat, a Bellator Care Don't Care preview. I believe it's the second one we've ever done.
Mike Koganski, Mike Koganstein, he will be more than happy. He'd be beside himself with glee that we've chosen to spend exactly 17.5 minutes on Bellator.
A round of applause for us. A round of applause for us. We are talking about Bellator 170, Ortiz versus Sonnen. Disclaimer, please.
Crybabies, bedwetters, malingerers, work-shy individuals, grumblers. What did I leave out? Grumblers.
Bedwetters? I don't know.
Huh? I got bedwetters. I got bedwetters in there. This has less to do with your skills and talents as a fighter, and much more to do with your sterling abilities. Not Donald Sterling. Your sterling abilities as a fighter. You want to move off the don't care list. You want to move out of a don't care organization. Fight an exciting fight, and maybe you too, like Marching Held, can make the journey not only from don't care to a care, but from Bellator to the big show.
Oh, you think that's the end game to get
until land don't come crying to us, and I want to reserve a special fuck you to hashtag Joe Warren. I don't, you can criticize Christine Cyborg Santos for ducking, you can criticize for taking steroids, but I don't like the whole ugly blast. It's pointless.
I see. Well, Joe Warren's been struggling with reefer addiction for many years, so have some sympathy.
Well, you know what they've actually. They've started to there was, what is that, the Reefer Madness, but they've actually started to make a connection between schizophrenia, bipolarity, and extensive weed use. And so now, sort of in a haphazard way, the bad brains are touring the country with this with this documentary. And they're like, oh, it's tragic, because HR he's schizophrenic, he's bipolar. And nobody's willing to make the connection to that in weed. And I have to say, like when we talk about George Michael dying from coke, nobody did coke like George Michael did coke. It was orders of magnitude better than any coke that you've ever put up your nose. He had more access to it, and he spent more money on it, and he didn't have to be at work the next day. So when I say that the bad brains, don't poo-poo that, a joint here or there is not going to kill you. Do you really think that the bad brains are smoking a joint here and there? Fucking, I don't know if I've ever hung out with Rastafarians. But
bowling ball bags full.
Yeah, and realistically, if you drank an equivalent amount of water, you would probably die. Moderation in all things, friends. I know a guy who lived in my senior dorm was smoking so much weed his lungs started to collapse. They first thought he was a smoker. Like you got to cut back on the cigarettes. He goes, I don't smoke cigarettes. They go, well, something's going on. Do you work in the mines? He goes, no, I'm just smoking weed. Even if you use a vaporizer, just ease up, man. Ease up.
It's all natural. It's natural. Yeah. Have you seen the ingredients in these vaccines? Have you seen the list of ingredients? Yeah.
Well, I'm glad Bobby Kennedy is on the case.
Yes, it's very yes.
Motherfuckers coming down with measles and fucking whooping cough in my school district.
Yeah, same here. And that shit, like, you don't think it's any big deal because everybody's vaccinated. But once you stop vaccinating, it quickly becomes a big deal. Mumps will sterilize your fucking sons.
Yep. Hard times, what I consider the New Onion had a great piece. Woman doesn't vaccinate kids. 1 out of 4 live. That's success.
That's right. Yep. What a plucky mom. All right. Should we skip the preliminary card? This is all happening on January 21st, which I believe to be Saturday night, and it's happening at the Forum in Inglewood, California. Bellator 170. It's going to be on Spike TV.
And I fully expect to see the President of the United States there, cage side, with "Just Bleed" written on his naked chest.
Since he's taking the weekend off to party, by all means.
Yeah, like it's 1999. Yes.
Yes. So do we want to talk about the endless, like 15-fight prelim Spike.com card? Or
no? Sure. Of course we do, because never have two men wanted to get to don't care so quickly.
All right. So we'll start out.
And you might be surprised, because you don't know. I mean, a lot of these guys are refugees from Strikeforce, homegrown. Scott Coker is a friend of Knuckle Up. Rich Chow, friend of Knuckle Up. These guys have been, Mike Aframowitz, who's no longer with Bellator, but these guys are all. I mean, it's local. Kogan comes in here a little bit, mocks me. Okay. He got a charity brown belt from Sorrel.
You got a brown belt? You didn't get. So
I'm fucking. That's right. I'm all in on this one.
I see. All right. So.
No, me? No. I won't get one before 2020.
Oh, okay.
He's assured me. He'll throw it over my coffin.
How many times are you going to step in my predictions here? I'm trying to do my job.
Well, he's
Sorrel sitting at most one care on the prelims.
Sorrel sitting right here. He's trying to flee, so I want to get all the.
Get all the cheap shots in at the coach.
Cheap shots.
All right. So, women's flyweight: Rebecca Ruth versus Colleen Schneider.
Let's open this up to the crowd, because surprisingly, I care.
You care because
Rebecca Ruth versus Colleen Schneider. Colleen Schneider is a friend of. Colleen Schneider is a friend of Knuckle Up. All right, man. She's either a fiance or longtime other of Josh Barnett, former Bay Area, Jake Shields, Gil Melendez, fight team. She's been on Knuckle Up 1 or 2 times, done a couple of catch wrestling things, has had a spotty kind of MMA career, but I'm sure as hell interested.
All right. Well, there you go. All right. So bantamweight.
And I'm picking her.
All right. And I don't care. Sorry, but I'm now curious. So we'll see. Right. Bantamweight: Rob Gooch versus James Baugh.
Okay, Rob Gooch and James Baugh. No, I don't give a fuck.
Okay, me neither. Lightweight: Mike Segura versus Tommy Aaron.
Mike Segura, Tommy Aaron. Don't give a fuck. If you guys hear any names that you like, say something. You see something, say something. Okay, go.
All right. So you've pulled the homeless guys outside the Starbucks. Welterweight: Johnny Cisneros versus Curtis Millender.
Johnny Cisneros, Curtis Millender, do not give a fuck.
All right. Lightweight: Jacob Rosales and Ian Butler.
Jacob Rosales, Ian Butler, don't give a fuck.
All right.
Everybody here staring at their phones. Nobody gives a fuck.
Catchweight: Christian Gonzalez and Daniel Rodriguez.
Christian Gonzalez and Daniel Rodriguez, and the one Mexican cat here, he left. He doesn't give a fuck. That's what he said right before he left.
I see. Welterweight: Gabriel Green and Jalin Turner. Jalin, I don't know.
Sorry, Turner. Don't give a shit. I might know Jalin Turner, but it's been long enough where I think maybe he used to be one of my kids' coaches. I don't know, but
Must we curse so much? Maybe we should get a coffee can and you can put a quarter in it each time you work blue.
I don't give a fuck. Actually, I'll translate it into Portuguese. I don't fuck care.
Damn your eyes, man. This was a family show. Middleweight. This might be one. Middleweight: Keith Berry versus Kevin Casey.
Keith Berry versus Kevin Casey? No.
Nobody. Kevin Casey, UFC veteran.
Kevin Casey is a UFC veteran. They're giving me the finger.
He's got the same name as a guy Nate went to high school with.
No, man. I can't.
Try that, huh?
I can't.
All right. I don't care either.
I can't rouse any interest here. So
Casey's boring. All right. Featherweight: Henry Corrales versus Cody Bollinger.
I almost care because of Cody Bollinger, but not enough.
Quite.
Not quite.
All right. Heavyweight: Jack May versus Dave Cryer.
Jack May, Dave Cryer. No. Anybody? No. Anybody? Class? No.
All right. Featherweight: Chinzo Machida versus Jamar Ocampo.
Chinzo Machida versus Yunaro Ocampo.
Little brother of Lyoto.
Little brother of Lyoto Machida. I'm looking at the one Brazilian here. He's just shaking his head. Lyoto Machida's younger brother is fighting. Do you care? He does. He says, I don't.
I see. Yeah, it's hard to get too pumped about 39-year-old Chinzo Machida.
39-year-old Chinzo Machida. So he's not that much fucking younger. He's not a kid brother.
No. He's, yeah. And I care just because I'm a mark for karate. So.
All right.
And I'm going to pick Machida. All right, now It's time to get serious.
So we've got one pick apiece now.
Yes,
I got Colleen. You got Machida.
Yes. All right. So now you might want to take the hoodie off and put down the Skittles because we are to the main Spike fight card.
We're already to the main card. Okay, I'm ready.
Now it's serious business. Lightweight. Derek Campos versus Derek Anderson.
The cop just gave me the finger. Derek Campos versus
Derek Anderson.
Derek Anderson.
Two Dereks.
Anybody? No. I almost care because of Derek Anderson and Derek Campos, but not enough, man.
I'm intrigued by this battle of the Dereks, but yeah,
that's not enough. That's not enough.
No. Featherweight. Georgi Karakhanyan versus Emmanuel Sanchez.
Don't care.
Karakhanyan?
I love
Armenian.
But listen, let me tell you, because of Scott Coker's bona fides initially with ISKA and initially Strikeforce being a kickboxing, this is not unusual or extra special. And because the guy who fought Brian Schwartz, a cat from North Carolina whose name I always forget when I ran into him in the airport, he said, I got weird conflicting instructions back when it was Strikeforce about taking Brian. They're trying to build Brian Schwartz up. So if I take him down to the ground, they promised me 4 fights if I don't capitalize on it. So I don't know that when the guy's a kickboxing phenom. And if that fight doesn't go to the ground, I'm suspicious. So I can't really care.
He's not actually a kickboxer. My bad.
All right.
But he started as a karate. His father's a karate instructor, but he's basically an MMA fighter. He's been with Bellator.
I don't care. Great. I don't care. Sorry.
So me neither. All right. Now I've got one you're going to care about. Middleweight. Hisako Kato versus Ralek Gracie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yes. And do you have a pick?
I'm all in for the BJJ guys, man.
I see. But Kato, he KO'd Joe Schilling and got knocked out by Melvin Manhoff.
There's a likelihood that he'll KO Ralek, I mean, I've not seen a Gracie yet that's impressed me with his stand-up outside of Half and Henzo. And that's 2,
That's been a long time.
Yeah, so but I'm gonna, I'm all in for BJJ, so now I got 2 picks. I got Ralek and are you picking counter to me on that one? Or are you
yeah, I'm picking Kato all the way. It's hitting on my button.
Because you're a Japanophile. All right, I gotta start writing this down now because we got
indeed. You got Schneider and Gracie.
Yep. All right.
Yep. All right.
Well, hold on. Yes, that's it. Schneider.
That's it.
I thought I had one more in there. Okay, Schneider.
And I cared about Karakhanyan, but you didn't. And I cared about Chinzo Machida, but you didn't.
Okay. All right. So we're 2 for 2.
Yes.
Okay.
And now we've got welterweight Paul Simtex Daley versus Brennan Ward.
Yeah, of course I care.
Because of Simtex.
Yeah, that was a weird thing.
And do you remember Brennan Ward's unfortunate history of alleged domestic violence?
Yeah, I do. And which is why I'm picking Paul Daley. I think he got a raw deal, and I'm not down with domestic abusers. So.
Alleged domestic abusers.
Yes, true. Alleged.
Yes, alleged. I got to go with Simtex here too. Although he's getting old.
Yeah, he is getting old. But I like the chip on the shoulder that comes from getting wish me luck, Shamus. I got a raw deal. Your kind always does. No, I mean, cause that was really mystifying to me because it was like I think he was thinking that his boots were bigger than they were, and it was starting to drive. Because it's not like the UFC gave a fuck about Koscheck,
No, but I think Dana White's white boyisms got in there too.
You said it, I did it.
Yeah, I'm the social justice warrior here, Eugene. You're a crypto Nazi. Come on.
Look at guys like, how could you say the Jews had it worse? I've been too busy. I got to get in there and say, man, I'm talking from a historical perspective. He's talking from 1923 Nazis. I'm like,
but would you rather be a Jew or say an Australian Aboriginal?
Yeah, they were run roughshod over too, man.
Yeah.
Would you rather be a Jew or a Negro?
That's a tough one. And I mean, obviously, if it was an African Negro, then definitely.
Well, they're not.
If it was an African American, then that's a very tough call.
The thing is, they're not running pogroms anymore. But they still are sort of. They interviewed a rabbi in Poland, and he had moved from Berlin to like Krakow, and they on German TV. They said, "How you enjoyed it?" He goes, "Well, when I first moved here, I was beaten up once a week. So things are a lot better now. I only get beaten up once a month." So.
Do you ever go, hey, Jewish dude, what are you doing living in Poland? I mean, do you ever think that? Like, I mean, everybody has a right to live wherever they want, but
hey, man, hey, it's they're making a point. You know, my friend who's Swiss, he's like, I go, he could move anywhere in the world. Where does he choose to move? He moves to Berlin. He goes, I have to do it. I have
but
to.
nobody hates the Swiss.
I'm making. Oh, you're wrong about that.
But not in a pogrom.
The question is he? Well, question is he walking the temple? You know, and now it's California.
Oh, so he's a Jewish Swiss guy.
Yes.
Oh,
So, and and the reality of it is, he's like, I don't know, man. I mean, he's got this whole anti-Israel thing, and now they want to. I mean, it's just. I don't know if people realize this, but now we are beyond the point of we've crossed the Rubicon. You know, nobody's talking about a two-state solution, and if there's no two-state solution, what do we got? We got nothing. You know,
yeah, we got apartheid.
And the Palestinians, we don't know what the actual Palestinians think, because the Palestinian Authority is pretty fucking aggressive about controlling the messaging. But I think that they, much like the Irish Republican Army, as long as the dollar signs seem to bear it out, man, we get paid better being victims. And right now, I can go to Germany and I'm racking up. People have all sympathy. They want to put together a list of, Israeli companies so they don't buy. I mean, it's, and of course, if you talk to the average Israeli, people who, under normal circumstances, should be saying, they're like, turn it into glass. Turn what into glass? Syria, Jordan, fucking Yemen. It's like, man, this is fucking untenable. And if you think that we've tried it, I mean, what I said for a long time is that Obama should do some window dressing, right? He should, it's all about window dressing. Appear to reprimand the Jews in Israel, so he seems like he's playing, he's an honest broker. The Jews understand that there's a wink and a nod as a concession to the Palestinians.
But Bibi doesn't take any winks and nods from
He
Obama.
doesn't, and he hasn't, and he doesn't, and he hasn't from the very beginning. And it was, the Clintons were terrible for fucking Israel, and they were just not down with having that repeat.
The Clintons almost closed the peace deals. I mean, the Clintons were not terrible for Israel.
Yeah, they were. There was no ground support for the deal they were put. Don't ask me. Talk to the average Israeli and see what they thought about.
I've talked to the average Israeli to the point that I don't want to talk to those motherfuckers anymore. Like, it's just like, even the ones I like and I'm friends with, they're like you. I don't talk about this show with them because, dude,
yeah. Well, you can't. At this point now, there's no. I mean,
and the thing is, my message to my Israeli friends, and I identify with the Israelis more than the Arabs just because cultural affinity, et cetera, and I actually have friends and relatives, ex-relatives,
I don't know that I say that, but instead when they start to talk about a worldwide caliphate, I go, conversation's over, man. That shit, I mean, what are you fighting for? What are you fighting for? Okay, worldwide caliphate? Well, that's just not going to happen, so just stop.
Yeah, but you know what else isn't going to happen is Jews running everything from the river to the sea. Like, just do the fucking math. There's too many Palestinians, too many being born, not enough Israelis, not enough being born. If you're going to do genocide, do it like the Americans did, not like the Germans and the South Africans. You got to fucking win if you're going to pull that shit.
Well, I'm talking to a guy in Jordan, and I said, hey, man, a grocery store cat. I said, I want to go over, I want to see some sights. Hey, how far is the Jordan River from here? He goes, it's very close. I go, cool. So where I walk down the street, he goes, well, it's not really a river. They call it the Jordan River, right? He's like, no, it's more of a trickle now. I go, what happened to the water? And he does. I love that thing, man. The international sign for, he goes like this. We know what happened to the water. He squints his eyes, and the Israeli people I'm with were like, we didn't say, wait. They start arguing in the grocery store. I'm like, hey man, hey, I'm just here to buy some orange juice, man. I don't want, They said we bought it from you fair and square. Well, you bought it from us, but it may not have been fair and square. It benefited rich fucking Jordanians, not the people. Okay, man, it's not. There's no solution. There is no solution that doesn't involve blood in the streets. Sorry.
Yeah, that's where it's headed, and it is very unfortunate. And I can't believe I let you turn this into Eugene Goes Talk Zionism, but it was one of the more lucid conversations.
No, I'm not really a Zionist, man, but
I mean, they've lost you, Eugene. When they've lost you,
yeah.
They fucking lost because
I've said this before to my friends who were there. Do not think the Republican Party in America is your friend. These guys are end timers. They're fucking crazy, and they don't give a shit about Jews.
No, they want the whole thing turned to glass. The whole planet starting
Correct.
Armageddon in Israel. So let's get back to the show, though. We've got the big fight to talk about. Tito Ortiz and Chael Sonnen. A fight with no significance, no meaning, no relevance, and yet a great big fat care.
Yeah, big fat care because, like I said on what was it, on If I Did It yesterday, man. I said, I had to take my hat off to Kogan. I've been like, he came on the show once or twice and it blew up because he took a shot at Eddie Alvarez, and then that way he's been really circumspect around me. He won't, he don't talk. He's not coming on the show again. He's stepped into his role as a senior VP. I got it. That's cool. So, but I've also held my fire as well. I'm not going to talk shit about Bellator. Sometimes I do the reporting because I want to be even-handed. But that fucking Chael Sonnen video package was it was good, man. It was good. It got me. The whole and they've cut right to the heart of what WME is doing. It's not the fighters, man. It's the fights. It's the backstory. It's the never-ending seesawing drama of good versus evil, of the promise to the dead father. It's a movie. And if you look at everything from the point of view of, movies went through a dull period. And I'm talking about right around the time they did Flintstones with John Goodman and Halle Berry. Okay.
I don't think they've recovered from that period. I think movies are still.
Sort of. Okay, I'm going to say, initially, you do know F. Scott Fitzgerald was, after Tender Is a Night, was lured to Hollywood. They said, man, we got to we're going to go to the top. We're going to get these guys. He kind of washed out as a screenwriter. Patty Chayefsky, Bud Schoberg had a better run, but these stories on the waterfront, classic movies, referenced novels, right? And there's a certain point at which the people making movies post the 70s, right? So you had the Young Turks in the 70s, Coppola, Scorsese, who are all, Scorsese says, Taxi Driver, notes from the underground Dostoevsky. He's making literary kind of connections. In the 80s, nobody was doing that because you had this generation of kids who didn't fucking read. So what are we going to do? Well, let's remake the Flintstones. And it was a really deadly fucking period for movies, And
it hasn't stopped, EJ.
It hasn't really. Ordinary People beats fucking Raging Bull. Get the fuck out of here. Nobody agrees with that decision now. And if they did, where's Timothy Hutton?
He's done some fine cocaine in his time, I guarantee.
Yeah. But now I think we're suddenly getting back to that a little bit, where people are using like this new movie Arrival that now is banked 170 mil so far. This movie is based on a fucking novel by this Asian American writer. Hidden Figures, based on a fucking novel, right? Or a book. So they're slowly making the turn back to, or even any superhero fucking film based on a backstory, a framework, a universe of pages and pages of narrative.
I hate to interrupt this because it's very insightful and not even on topic, but Hugo Pinero says in the live comments, "Hey, white guy, fuck this black guy in the ass." So,
that's pretty good, Mr. Pinero. I would be more than glad, to have you show up and attend the ass fucking. However, Mr. Pinero, if somehow Kid Nate should fail to achieve.
That's the thing. At my age, I don't know that.
If he should fail to achieve, I'm going to borrow a line from The Godfather, successful anal sex with yours truly, who knows what I might do at that point.
Well, I won't be there to find out. So
I might be all hyped up on anal sex and you're in the room.
Hey, you could end up. Remember your story about the guy that tried to sell his services as a gigolo to a women's maximum security prison?
Oh man,
and didn't bring any Viagra or anything, and
he's like too deep. He's like, I'm done, girls. Says, no, you're not. So, Mr. Pinero, that and your mother.
Ouch! Do we have to go there? Go there? Oh.
What do you think? I'm not like these guys. Eugene's too good. He's too big for that. I will show up at your door and fuck you up.
Eugene,
done it before. We'll do it again.
You're a petty, small-minded man. That's what we love about you. That's you're shitty. As my friend in high school used to say, Nate, you're shitty. I love that about you. Don't change.
Some guy was like, threatened to be online. He goes like, I'm not one of these goth kids that you could bully around. I go, where do you live, sir? He goes, Hamburg. I said, if you find a place for us to do it, I will invest the $700 in the fucking ticket to come over. You pay me back for my return ticket. And he goes, whoa, how would I do? I go, start a fucking page. Start a GoFundMe page. And he started a GoFundMe page and he got up to like $250 fucking dollars. I go, man, why don't you just throw in the rest yourself? Who knows? You might get lucky.
And
he never did. He got to like $400 and he disappeared. I'm sure he's training because I'll be in Hamburg in April, so I'm sure he's training, and I will show up.
I see. Well, something to look forward to. So we've talked about the Chael Sonnen side of the equation, sort of, in that he did a great promo and made us care about this.
No, Tito is like, and they brought in the pro athletes. Man, this is, you know what? We have often talked about competition where somebody opens the door and you go, oh shit, okay. Holly Holm opened the door on the Ronda that sealed Ronda's fate. Like, fuck, Ronda's stand up as shit. And if I keep her hips away, now Surface Reflection is going to go nuts. Sorry, man. Sorry. I know you love your angel baby, but this is the reality. You keep the hips away, you're going to be able to paste her. This is the same sort of thing. WME opens the door a crack. You got fast, Rich Chu, Scott Coker, fast studies. No more WWE, Daniel Puder, these kind of doctored fights where, we have a San Jose kickboxer against the LA grappler. And I don't even have to pay attention after that because I know who's going to fucking win. I've seen highly questionable judging decisions at Bellator and as well as Strikeforce. But this is a good move. As Tito's hanging out, pulling from his celebrity A-list. He's got hanging out with professional football players, training with them. It's all good video, man. At this point now, it doesn't matter who the fuck wins. It really doesn't, right?
No, it's all just about entertainment. The one problem here is there's not really a young star they're building up. I mean, Paul Daley,
correct,
not young and already pretty well known.
We don't know that.
I don't think it's going anywhere.
Well, we don't. I guess we don't know that, but I guess we kind of do know that.
Yeah, we I mean, Hisako Kato is neat, but he's not. I don't think he's going to be big doings. He's also older. There's, Michael Venom Page kind of busted his last time out, but he's not on this card. Venom Page is like the only guy Bellator has that's in that kind of young and up and coming category. There was that dude, that Liam dude for a while.
McGreary.
Liam McGreary. That
I love that guy's jiu-jitsu, but he's not managed to convert. I mean, he got beat by Mr. Wonderful. So
and he beat Tito, but nobody really didn't mean anything. So
I got a question for you. Just in thinking about Surface Reflection, MVP Michael Venom Page, does his fucking Twitter video of the Rousey dance hurt him or help him?
After his last shitty fight, I think it hurts him.
A better question. Yeah, how about that? Okay, so if you establish it hurt him, when you saw it, did you laugh?
Yes.
So did I.
Yeah. So, but again, we're kind of shitty people.
We're shitty people, and I think it still hurt him too.
I mean, I will literally watch World Star Hip Hop for an hour and a half if I have no time. If I have time, even if I have no time, I'll do that. So I'm
not watching World Star Hip Hop. It reminds me when I was on Jenny Jones, and when people do that shit for real, it's depressing.
It is depressing. It's a self-hating thing.
It's enough to make me a fucking Republican.
Whoa.
You look. Like I said, you go to Target. Oh no, I told my wife that. She goes, no, it's not Target, it's Walmart. Go to Walmart on the Sunday. Look, you concur. You go look to the left and look to the right and say, do you want these people to have votes? Fuck no.
But they're the ones voting for Republicans.
Yep.
So
Huh?
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I have not a single problem being an elitist, and everybody, if they're really fucking honest, most smart people are.
Yeah.
Oh, really? You go to fucking Walmart. No. You go to Walmart and you stand online and some guy's like, yo, bro, you watching the fucking Raiders? In your head, you're not going, dumbass. Come on. All right. I rest my case. Thank you. That's one guy. Walmart's full of guys like that. And it doesn't have to do with the Raiders. I love the Raiders. Sorry. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Have you heard about Walmart has so understaffed their stores, they've become crime magnets. And now the police are having to spend extra man hours there. So not only do their workers not get paid enough to get off food stamps, like to the tune of billions of dollars of social assistance the government hands out to Walmart employees. Now we're spending our tax dollars on cops to police their stores because they're too cheap to pay, assistant managers to patrol the stores. It's
man, they're setting up meth labs in the bathroom at fucking Walmart.
The beauty is when Trump starts his trade war with China, Walmart is going to be out of stock in about 2 weeks.
Well, and there's already been this fucking thing now with the Russians where he was like, oh, we're going to go push it forward with the, the nuclear non-proliferation. And Vladimir goes, no, we're not.
But Vladimir did back him up on the hookers thing. He said, why would Donald rush to a hotel room to meet up with the hookers? Of course, ours are the best in the world.
Yeah, Russian hookers are the best in the world, you know. I had a friend who picked up some Russian hookers when I was in St. Petersburg, and I go, "How was it?" Yes. He was a close friend? Yeah, no, he was a referee.
I see, a referee.
And so he's a guy who ripped his foot off, and I told him on the plane, I go, "You didn't rip your foot off." And he never, if a guy says he's ripped his foot off, never question his ripping his foot off, because the next thing he does is he rips off his shoe, he rips off his sock, and he shows you that. I go, what the fuck happened? He goes, I was in Vegas for a fight, drunk, wrestling with a buddy in the room, tumbled off the balcony. My buddy plunged to the ground below. My foot caught in the railing of the balcony on the second floor. Without that, I'd have died, but it did rip my foot off and they had to reattach it. I thought he was just limping just to fucking be a cool guy. He showed.
Did his buddy die?
His buddy died. So, so this
you remember that couple that was like doing a doggy and the dude pushed the chick off the balcony?
Yeah. Or there was a terrible case.
Her. I mean,
or Japan, where a couple like probably saw that movie Tokyo Dreams. It was like, oh, wouldn't it be great on the 170th floor of a hotel to have sex against that big plate glass window? And then they just end up sailing right down to the ground. I mean, I knew a guy who was a glazier, man. They would get into fights with the fitters. You know what they would do? Oh, yeah. All right. The fitters would go, fuck you guys. They wouldn't drill the frames in. A buddy of mine was working on some fucking thing in Manhattan. They put the fucking big plate, 16 feet by like 10 feet, put this window in, and they go, okay, let's go. And they just watch it. Hold it. You know how much a piece of glass like that weighs? And he goes, it floated to the ground like a fucking playing card. He goes, thank God nobody was killed. Destroy the car below. I was like, man, I'm not fucking anybody.
Have you seen the video of the guy walking down the street in Dubai and the plate glass window like lands? He stops to scratch his foot, and then the plate glass window rips his whatever, sheet off his head, and just missed him completely though, and vaporized, shattering, but it was close enough to rip his headscarf off, man.
As an anxiety-full New Yorker, you should know that I've thought about this many a time, and I could talk to my engineer friends about it, but I got a tall building. I'm walking on the sidewalk. What's the likelihood that something that falls from the building falls straight down?
Slim to none.
Slim to none. So if you see me walking in New York City, you'll know I'm walking suspiciously close to the buildings. If I'm a real gentleman, I'll let the old lady walk close to the building and I'll take the outside. But I'm always New Yorkers, man. A buddy of mine was abject fear of bumpers on taxis. He goes, it's gonna rip my fucking kneecap off. I go, you're crazy. It's never gonna happen. He sends me a fucking link. Some guy got his knee ripped off by a fucking.
Well, there's another guy in New York that got killed by the transit authority by this mirror on the bus. Hit him in the back.
Oh, I remember that. Yep. So these fears are rational. Now, do we have any fears of Tito Ortiz beating Chael Sonnen, or does it even matter? It doesn't matter, but I'm gonna call this one for Chael.
I think so too, because he was the better wrestler when they competed as amateurs, and I think he's got a stronger head game. I mean, Tito is a flake. Like,
well, and Chael's been fighting better guys for longer than.
Tito was a pioneer and was fearsome. I mean, remember how fearsome Tito was when he was annihilating the Lion's Den? I mean, Guy Metzger, Jerry Bollinger, these guys were taken seriously. They were serious dudes at the time. Evan Tanner, Vladimir Matyashenko.
His fucking supplements, man.
It was more than that. It was also the weight cutting and the size and aggression, and also that he was the master of not so much getting the takedown and keeping him down, but getting the takedown and letting them up and then beating the piss out of them as they were coming up.
Lacerating with the elbows.
And that's where Frank Shamrock beat him, because Frank didn't try to get up. Frank made him stay in his guard and tire himself out, and then Frank jumped up and whipped his ass. So anyway, much respect to Tito, but
man, I had a weird dream about Frank the other night. And
then about Frank, huh?
And then when I woke up the next day, somebody on Facebook had liked the photo of him beat me up at AKA ages ago.
I see. I didn't know you had rolled with Frank.
Oh yeah. Oh really?
Somehow I've missed this. I remember Kane. But
no. This is the one where the photographer. We were doing a piece for Vice, and the photographer was there. And so he gets me. He's half guard. I got him in my half guard. He said a semi-mounted up, and he's like driving me over. AKA has the rings, and he drives me over to the edge of the ring, and he grabs the bottom rope and he puts it on my throat, and he says to the photographer, "How is this?" Ding! And smiles. And I was like, after that, man, I was like, yeah. And he was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm just joking with you." I was like, yeah, okay.
He's a lot smaller than you, isn't he?
Yeah, at this point I was 245. So, but at this point I was 245, and I was training with nobody but that guy who tried to sue me. It wasn't even like I was with Marcus Vinicius at that point. Just the guy.
So Frank could just.
Yeah. I'm looking at the photos now. I'm like, Jesus Christ, what did I? Why did I trust Matt Fury?
Live and learn, Eugene.
Oh, I mentioned his name. Guy who tried to sue me.
I see. You shouldn't. Allegedly something. Just covered up in a cloud of obfuscation.
No, he had a lawyer call me because I compared him to Billy Blanks, and he thought it was pejorative. And I told the lawyer, read to the end of that sentence and type his name into Google, and you tell me what you find. They get back to me. I'll see you later. And hung up. I never heard back from him.
I see. Case closed.
Because in the end, I say Fury is a real deal. He was a fucking NCAA 2 wrestling champ. He's on the Hall of Fame at Edinburgh. He wrestled with Jay Robinson, with fucking Dan Gable. He's a legitimate, all right, man. He was a Swaijiao fucking champion, trained with Carl Gotch. He was legitimate, but he chose to go a different way, direct mail style.
Well, some of us have a calling, Eugene, and it's to be a con, to join the magical arts.
I didn't say that.
I didn't say that about him. I said us.
he wanted to sell me a 6,000. He did say one thing useful. He goes, "You with your Stanford fucking degree, why are you poor?" And I go, "Fuck, man, this is a good question. I have no idea." He goes, "If I were you, I'd be rich." And I go, "How?" He goes, "Give me $6,000. I'll let you know." I go, No. He goes, "Okay, I'll give you a sample." And he starts telling me about a direct mail campaign. Look at all the photos of you with famous people. You put a photo on the page of you and Halle Berry, you with Billy Bob Thornton, you with Chris Rock, Eugene Robinson, his associations, just do the direct mail spiel, send out mailers. You could sell, get public fucking access to, Frank Gotch stuff, and then you brand it with your name. And I just go, you know what? I'm not doing it, man. I'm not really doing it.
See, not after the quick buck, not after the ill-gotten gains.
Really. I mean, any reasonably attractive woman with a fucking sense of rhythm could probably make a lot more money as a stripper, but it doesn't accord with who you see yourself as. Don't fucking do it. So.
And you get stuck in that rut because unlike being, say, a bad musician, it pays, and it pays fairly well. And it's hard to get out of.
I was friends with some Japanese prostitutes, but they were smart, and they were like, "Well, there's smart women who do this and stupid women who do this." I go, "What do the stupid women do?" "Well, the stupid women plow all this fucking money right back into the industry." So I said, "What do you mean?" "Their shift ends at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and they go to gentlemen's clubs." Like, "What do you mean gentlemen's clubs?" They go to the clubs in fucking Shibuya where, salary women go to they're not even fucking these guys. They just go and the guys listen to them, and they have these friendly conversations, and they drink and they act interested, and then they buy them expensive watches and stuff. And then when their shift ends, these guys go out, and the men never open their fucking wallet. So the female prostitutes, after their shift end, go over and hang out with the male prostitutes, and they buy them drinks because that's just the way it works. And then they find themselves Monday broke again. So I mean, this is not an easy gig, man. You're working 8-hour days, once an hour.
It's tough stuff. But Tito Ortiz, Chael Sonnen, Bellator.
Chael. We got 4 picks. We got 4 picks apiece. Out of how many? What is the vig on this?
Out of how many fights are there?
Yeah.
More than I could tally up by looking. There's 5, 10, 13 on the prelims, and then 5 on the main card. So 18 fights.
18, and we cared about 4. You guys got to bring that up, man. I don't know what.
Well, I think, but the spike card is all that matters. And for me, other than the Battle of the Derricks, everything was a care. You had 3 cares out of 5, so that's not bad.
I had 4.
No, you had 3 on the. You
Schneider,
had 4
Gracie,
overall. But you had 3 on the main card.
Main card, yeah. Okay, all right. I guess that's not a bad.
Yeah, no, it's not bad. And I mean, to me, it's like just Bellator staying alive and getting the ratings to stay on TV is a win at this point. And now, as circumstances are changing, opportunities will arise, and they're getting people like Rory McDonald, et cetera, Benson Henderson, and it's becoming more of a legit thing. I'm a believer in Scott Coker, so we'll see what he can do. So that
did I mention last night that I got up twice spitting blood?
From too much grappling?
I don't know. I almost died. The whole lozenge story.
Oh, the lozenge thing. I forgot about your throat closing on the lozenge.
I might not make it to fucking 251.
I see.
I'm just giving you a forewarning.
I see. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Time will tell.
Yeah.
Time will tell. Watch out for those spicy lozenges, especially while you're driving.
And suck on them. Don't bite them.
Don't bite the mints. Don't bite the mints, kids. All right. So that's our show. Subscribe to MMANation.com on YouTube. Subscribe to MMA Nation on iTunes, which we're having a problem with, but hopefully it will be fixed. Or
you mean you're hoping?
I'm hoping it will be fixed, yes. But in the meantime, you can go to MMA
Nation. How do you like that private school, public school dig with like 30 seconds left?
It was typically shitty, elitist, neoliberal oppression of real America.
Well, what I like in that you call out all the time. I mean, and it's like, you know, the liberals are like and then somebody inevitably, I mean, like it happened several times during the campaign to Hillary. Somebody in essence, the response was, "Oh, so you actually like black people?" Well, I'm not saying that. Yeah, okay, come on, man. You know what? But the saddest thing I heard yesterday, they did a big NPR thing. Okay, NPR is a questionable source, but they talked to people in Wisconsin, Rust Belt, Pennsylvania, and these guys really think it's like, what is that thing that Carly Fiorini said that they should listen to? It's not your God-given right to have a job. They're like, these manufacturing jobs, we need them to come back here. God, the fuck are you thinking about, man? What the fuck are you thinking about? You know, we don't drive horses and buggies, man. There's some of this shit is not it. He could put a.
But this wasn't just like some unstoppable force of nature. This was a policy decision deliberately to make it cheaper and give tax breaks to companies to take jobs to foreign countries.
Hey, man. Hey, I knew a guy named Bobby, and at Prospect Road subway station, the Q line, he used to work in the booth taking tokens. Bobby's unemployed now. Why is he unemployed?
And your point is, there's an enormous difference between being the subway token taker and having a high value add occupation like high-end factory work. You notice Germany hasn't given away their high-end manufacturing. They've kept that shit in Germany.
Oh, really?
Continue to do quite well. Oh, yeah, really?
Oh, really? Who's doing the factory work in Germany, man?
Germans.
Yeah.
Turks did not get the factory work in Germany.
Oh, don't be so sure about that, my friend.
They got some of the factory work, but not the real high-end craftsman shit, not the shit you have to get in the apprentice guilds to get.
They got like 15 months of fucking maternity leave, paternity leave. They're trying to do anything to bring up the birth rate in Germany because women just aren't going for it. They're bringing in the fucking Turks, man. All they did was crimp the honor killings, you know, and now there's but we're not going to bring any more refugees. Well, yeah, okay. The Germans are not doing that.
Well, there's a difference between the refugees and the Turks. The Turks they brought into work were one thing because they were mostly families and they mostly had jobs, so they were pretty easy to control.
You know, Whipping Boy's old drummer, who is now a famous professor at Vanderbilt, would tell me about growing up in Germany. He said, you know, they would lure the Turks in to sell them weed or to buy weed from them and beat them up just to fuck it. That was it. That's what skinheads did in Germany, and that hasn't really changed very much.
No, Germany is way racist, and Merkel is going to pay the price for bringing in all those refugees. So, anyway, that's our show. iTunes troubles, but SoundCloud has the MP4s or MP3s that you can download for your podcasting pleasure. Follow us on Twitter at KidNate, at Eugene S. Robinson. Read me at Bloody Elbow. Read Eugene at Aussie.com.
And Instagram, Mr. Sleep 3. But I have to say, if you have no post on your Instagram, I assume you're a spy, and I will not okay you.
I see. Eugene likes to keep it close to the vest because job, right?
Yeah.
So, and Zane and Connor will have the vivisection for this con.
Yeah.
And Zane and I will have the 6th round.
Yeah.
Eugene will be back up Sunday with Knuckle Up, and then we'll move on in to the next UFC on Fox, which is one of these, I can't believe it's a fight card kind of deals, but we'll cover it anyway. So, adios, MMA aficionados. Thanks, Eugene. We'll see you next time.
Wait, did I get the 2 thumbs up?
That's a different show. But give us a thumbs up on this. But there's confusion. Eugene, I can't remember.
Now I got the sads. Sorry. Okay.
He has the sads. All right. Adios.
All right, man.